Hello everyone, welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking. I will just go through a couple of the transits before I go on to the tarot. In the description box below will be all the information you need when the tarot starts, all my links, the links to my social media, etc., my email, my website and all that. So this is your reading for March 1st to 15th, and just a couple of things about the transits. So March the 1st, we're having Venus entering Aquarius. So that's fantastic for Aquarius, obviously. But we've all got Aquarius somewhere in our chart. So if you know your birth chart, then you can look at which house is Aquarius for you, and that's where the blessings will come through, obviously. Also, we are in Piscean time right now, so happy birthday to all of you Piscean people out there. On March the 5th, we've got Mercury Retrograde. Now, Mercury is still in shadow as I'm doing this video. Mercury is going to get to roughly the 29th degree of Pisces, 29 and 39 minutes of Pisces before it starts to turn back and retrograde. So Mercury is going to be in Pisces for a couple of months, people. So communications are going to be really hard. So just try and go over things. Don't take things at face value, all right? Because if you hear something, something that's going to freak you out, because Mercury will be moving over Neptune, and Neptune rules Pisces. So Neptune can be quite harsh. It can be very, unconditional love and very spiritual and beautiful, but it can also be illusions. Okay, so take your time, don't rush. This is one of the hardest Mercury retrogrades. Now you know that Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so there are completions here. Now, so Mercury will be leaving its retrograde zone on the 16th of April. Even though on March 28th it will be moving direct, it still will be in its shadow period, but it's not such a big deal. So I would say March the 28th, the end of March, it will be moving over the same area that it started retrograding on, but it's moving direct. So that's the positive thing about that. So it will start covering new ground on the 16th of April. All right, so now on March 6th, so March 5th is Mercury retrograde. The day after, we're having Uranus entering Taurus. Wow. That is huge. It is huge because Uranus changes a sign every 7-8 years, depending on which sign it is. And, Uranus is the rebel. It's moving back into Taurus because it retrograded back into Aries. It's starting to move. It is moving direct now, and it will be entering, of course, Taurus. So Taurus is what we value. Okay, Taurus is also anything to do with our comforts, things that we have, because Taurus is all about I have, right? So Uranus can be very disruptive, but it can also bring in sudden change, good sudden change. Now, March the 6th, we're having a new moon in Pisces. So on the day that Uranus moves into Taurus, we're having a new moon in Pisces. So as we know with new moons, they're all about new beginnings, all right? So very, very interesting time, the beginning of March. Now, March 20th, the sun will move into Aries, even though this reading is up until the 15th. Doesn't matter. I'm giving you a couple of the important aspects. So sun will move into Aries. So that is the summer solstice. You know that this is a brand new astrological year when the sun moves into Aries. So looking forward to that. And actually on the same day, we're having a full moon in Libra. So Libra is the house opposite Aries, and Libra is the partnership house. So I think that we're going to have a lot of clarity with partnerships, relationships of any sort, because full moons are completions, but they're also, you know, there's a lot of light there. So we see things come to the surface for us to know. Now, on March 26th, Venus will enter Pisces, and 2 days after that, March 28th, Mercury will go direct. So, beautiful. Mercury direct, cannot wait for that. It's going to seem like it's dragging on. And you know, with Mercury being retrograde, be careful with signing documents, signing contracts. Be careful with your itinerary, any travel documents, anything that is written, spoken, even with publishing. Okay, it's not a good time to publish anything. Wait until Mercury starts to move direct before you do anything like that. As well as that, on March 31st, Mars will be entering Gemini. So, you know, Gemini, the chatterbox, they like to communicate, they like to talk. Mars is passionate, Mars is fiery. So I think that there will be more communication in anything that we feel passionate about. And as well as that, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo and Gemini, those are the signs that will feel this Mercury retrograde more than others, even though on a collective scale everyone feels it. And retrogrades are all about a time of going within, redoing things, because the strength of Mercury will be amplified. It's obviously, when a planet is retrograde, it's closer to the Earth. So it will be stronger, but because of Neptune, and Neptune will be squaring off to Jupiter in Sagittarius, be careful, don't be over boastful, don't think that things are too good, actually more good than what they really are. Be careful with illusions. Go over things again and again. All right, so I will leave it at that. Thank you so much. Let's go on to the tarot now. Hello, dear Gemini. Welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking, and this is your March 1st till the 15th of 2019. I'm going to attempt to do your reading again. This is the second reading I'm doing for you. I'm afraid the first one did not record, so obviously it wasn't supposed to be your message. Just letting you know, there were a lot of swords there. We had the King of Swords. We had the Ice Queen from AMIRA'S Love Oracle, which is like the Queen of Swords. We had obstacles, and just like with Mercury retrograde, which will be happening in about a day and a half, communication is going crazy. So do not believe in everything that you hear. Do not think that any communication that you are either not receiving or that you are receiving means a certain thing, that things are over, or that someone is not interested in you. You had beautiful cards. Apart from the swords, you had good energies. So now, Mercury, your ruler, will be retrograding in Pisces. There are endings and new beginnings. Obviously, with endings come new beginnings, but I would say not before mid-April. Now, also, Venus in Aquarius is squaring, which is a difficult aspect, over to Mars in Taurus. So they are the lovers quarrel. Let's say there could be an abrupt change within relationships, an abrupt transformation, breaking free from certain relationships, even if they are not romantic. Okay, and there are a lot of illusions, so don't believe everything that you see straight off the bat. Okay, so let's take 3 cards now for your Karma Dharma position. We've got the obstacles, which was the 3rd card that you got. We have the triangle, love triangle, and I did mention a love triangle for some of you. And we've got the family. So that's these last 2 cards were not in your reading. What was the first card that you had? Wow, just trying to remember back to, let me just have a quick look and I will tell you. Just trying to remember, what was the first card that you had? Oh yeah, the gossip card. Yeah, that's right. You had the card of gossip. Okay, so you had the card of gossip, then you had the Ice Queen, and then you had the obstacles. So it is a little bit different here. It's focusing on another area. I've changed my tarot that I did with the rest of the signs that I've already uploaded. I needed some fresh energy. Okay, so if you're looking for what cards I'm using, they're in the description box below. So let's cut the cards for Gemini. Okay, so there's the first card, 9 of Cups at the base, at the root of your reading. What you don't know, dear Gemini, is the Page of Swords, and you had this as the outcome card. In the recent past, 3 of Cups, which could be the card of gossip. In the now position, 7 of Cups, you also had this card. You had this on top of the gossip card. So don't believe in the gossip. Don't believe in anything that you learn off the grapevine. Okay, because words can be quite, from one person until they get to the end of that grapevine, it could be a different message. Let's see what your highest ideal is. And it can't be the 5 of Swords, but you want to win a battle. Obviously, you're in a battle. You want to win it. Let's look at the advice and action to take. So 6 of Pentacles. The outcome card for you is the 4 of Swords. Oh my God, you had exactly this card in the Cosmic Tarot. I actually did the first reading. So the 4 of Swords you had, and in the Cosmic Tarot, it has the 4 swords that are lying on the floor. Beneath them is the glyph, the sign of Jupiter. And you also had the Wheel of Fortune twice. So I said, you know, many changes coming in. So 4 of Swords is the outcome, exactly the same as the first reading. Let's look at the divine position. And you have the 8 of Pentacles. And you've got the King of Swords. There he is again. There he is again. Wow. This is incredible. Okay. Let me take an astrology card. Now, what you had here was the Paths of Fortune symbol glyph, which Paths of Fortune, I explained in the first reading, is all about luck. In fortune, right? So that would mean abundance. It would mean money. It would mean, you know, in synastry, in the synastry between 2 people, we usually have aspects to the Paths of Fortune. Even though it speaks mainly of career, it does speak of luck. So let's see what the astrology card is going to be in this reading. And we've got the 12th house and escape, and this is Pisces. 12th house is the natural house of Pisces. We are in the time of Pisces. So this is a 36, which adds to a 9. Now we know that Pisces can be the unconditional love, but it can also be illusions. Let me take straight away a card for the outcome. I can't give you take time out and we need to have an answer here. So we have the Star, and Aquarius was also mentioned in your reading. And yes, I can't remember exactly the cards why you didn't have the Star card in your reading, but Aquarius was mentioned because of probably the swords and something in the cards that I saw. And I said that Uranus, which rules Aquarius, is at the last 5 minutes of Aries, and Uranus is having a conversation with Venus, and Venus is love and money and anything that we value. So it's in Aquarius, and Aquarius is socializing. There's the Aquarius, yeah. Aquarius is all about socializing. It's all about detachment as well. And it's all about drastic and sudden change. So you are dealing with obstacles, obviously. You've got business to take care of, to figure out. That's what she's doing here. And she's obviously making a choice between two people. And as I can see in this card, we have got a darker male and a lighter male, a fairer male. But she's choosing the foreign person. It looks like they're from a different background, as you could see the coloring. And there is a family that is in the mix as well. So this could be, you know, and I'm going to mention the card Gossip too because it was in your reading. So therefore, family could be playing a big part in this reading. But I feel as though there is a choice that you're needing to make. Now, this could be a choice in love, a choice between two partners in business. There is competitive energies here. This is the Five of Swords. So I'm going to take a card straight away on that. And the Five of Swords can be harsh energy. Now, you had the Knight of Swords. You had the Knight of Swords on top of the Eight of Cups there. You had the Knight of Wands here, and you also had here with the Wheel of Fortune, you also had the Knight of Pentacles. So I had said that because you had the Powers of Fortune as well as the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Pentacles was sitting right in between your luck. So who is the Knight of Pentacles in your life? It's very slow-moving energy, right? Let's look at that Five of Swords. And we've got the Ten of Wands. So harsh communications coming to an end. So we go from the 5 to the 10. At the base of your reading, Nine of Cups, usually this is the wish card. Here, this could be someone that is feeling as though they got away with something. The root of your reading says that a wish could be coming true, but I don't believe it's going to happen unless the truth is told. And you had the Magician twice, which is your ruler. It's Mercury. And I was telling you that you've got the power, you've got the gift of the gab, and that you're very, very intelligent, even though your ruler is quite lost at this time with a retrograde. You know, Mercury in the sign of Pisces is lost. There is no logic. Okay, so the Page of Swords being some sort of a message of truth. For some of you, this could be, you know, furthering your studies where Jupiter is in Sagittarius, and that is your 7th house. So some of you could be needing to further your studies for some sort of a partnership in business, of course. Now, this could also be, as I said, just as simple as a message coming from someone who is youthful, someone who's young, a child of yours, doesn't really matter. In the recent past, there was some sort of a celebration, but this could also be the card of gossip. So you've got a fair few cups. We've got the Seven of Cups. Sevens are divine. Things are up in the air. There is an illusion. It's not the time now to make decisions. That's what I also mentioned. It's not the time. You also had the Hermit card. Yes, the Hermit card. And that was the Virgo card, which was here in this position. And you also had the Magician here as well as here. So you had the Magician twice, and the Magician is a number one. It's making magic, it's having the tools, it's becoming powerful. That's what I was telling you, that the power is within you. Some of you need to complete a cycle, to end a cycle. Some of you could be escaping a situation because you cannot beat it, because, you know, this is the position of karma, dharma, and you had the obstacles right there. So you are dealing with obstacles. This is obvious. Let's take, I already mentioned this. Let's look at the position of the advice and action to take is Libra. Libra is the natural house of partnership. Now, this is your fifth house. For those of you that are Gemini rising, Libra is the fifth house of partnership, and fifth house is the natural house of Leo, and therefore it deals with motherhood, children, taking a risk, being very creative, romance, true love. So, romance, flirtation, having fun, that's what Leo is all about. Leo was all over your reading as well. Let me take a card on that action and advice to take. Wow. And you've got the Chariot. Now, the Chariot is Cancer, and it is the house of home. The Chariot is a number 7. Again, it's the divine. Some of you are literally moving, escaping, moving away from a love triangle. Others of you are moving away from a family that could be malfunctioning. Here in the outcome position, we've got the Four of Swords, which we've got the Three of Swords right at the top, and at the bottom is the Four. So that is, you know, once you get out of this, you know, taking time out, needing to rest, to meditate, you're going to be speaking your truth, or you could even be severing ties. And therefore, the Star, which can mean communication, this can also mean having a bird's eye view. That's right. You have the eagle's view, the eagle's vision, not 20/20 vision, 100 vision. You can see way into the future. That's why Aquarian was mentioned. So some of you are dealing with someone who's got strong Aquarius. Now the Star is also, of course, it is, you know, an energy of healing, an energy of hope. So some of you are just taking the time out and hoping for that wish to come true. Now you've got 2 wish cards, Gemini. Okay, but I would say that probably not going to receive your wish before your ruler moves direct. Now this is a time of going in, redoing things, taking time. Okay, it's a time of slow and steady, because we've got a lot of illusions around. Okay, this is Pisces. Pisces season. Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. And, you know, good old Poseidon, he can bring havoc into anyone's life. He can be really tough. We don't give him the recognition that he should have. Neptune can be very harsh, can be even harder than Saturn sometimes. So In the divine position, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. So that speaks of putting work in, working hard. Now, the King of Swords, of course, is someone who is quite cutting with their words. This is someone who will speak their truth. This is someone who is quite, they've taken a step back. They're not opening up. They're not speaking about their feelings because they've been hurt in the past. And maybe for those of you that are actually cutting someone out of your life, you're throwing yourself into work. Now, it could be this King of Swords that is actually working overtime and therefore trying to forget whatever was his truth or whatever he had to truly cut out of his life. Let's take some more cards. Let's take 3 cards on the Karma Dharma position. So we've got quite a few cups here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Now you also had the Hierophant here and you had the Death card there. They were the extra cards. So, Taurus and Scorpio are opposite signs. And Taurus is where Uranus is moving into. And that speaks about our values. So with the Death card here, there was some sort of a change in values. Let's see what this Nine of Cups is at the bottom here. And we've got the World card. Yes, that was another card that you had right there. Okay, and that was from the different deck that I was using. Okay, so the World card is Saturnian lessons, obviously. Okay, very stubborn energy. But this is also world travel. Again, you had, obviously, we're talking about foreign places and people when Sagittarius is mentioned in your reading. And Sagittarius was quite prominent. As I said, you had the Wheel of Fortune. So, again, the cycle is ending. The lessons have been learned. Okay, there is an ending. Some of you are literally moving across the seas. You've got the card of Cancer there. Some of you are going on a holiday. I said that I was going to, I put it there, I said I was going to look at this position here. So this could mean, because the World card was there in your other reading, I got mixed up. So this was here. This is here on top of the obstacles. So whatever obstacles you've had in a choice between 2 people, 2 situations, a love triangle, 2 lovers, 2 friends, whatever this is, there is a completion and there is a lesson that you are receiving in the meanwhile. So you haven't quite chosen yet. You haven't quite made your choice. This is the Nine of Wands, which says that you are protecting yourself, your home, your family, whatever you've built up. And this is someone who's been through the ringer. You've been through a tough time of it. It can never be easy now. I don't know if you are the female here in this card or you are one of the males. Nevertheless, okay, 9 of Wands. Could be 9 years, could be 9 months. Okay. And it's someone who has been broken, someone who has been injured emotionally. Emotionally, through, they've suffered losses. Obviously, could be at work as well. Let's take another card for the family card. And we have the 5 of Cups. Having this card on top of the family, it looks as though those 3 cups, which were in the recent past, there used to be happy once upon a time. There used to be happiness here. Now there is sorrow, as you can see. But 5s bring in change. What is the change? Don't cry over the past. Look to your future. The future looks bright, especially with a star. Now you also had the card of Leo, the Sun. You had the Sun card, I remember. Let's see what change. I'm going to take another card on top of the 5 of Cups. And we've got the Queen of Wands. So this is fiery, passionate, spontaneous sort of energy. The Queen of Wands is someone who is, they've got luck on their side, obviously, with that black cat here. Okay, she's up and going. She's very strong. She's a leader. Okay, and she's going to work through what she needs to. She's going to put her desires before whatever else she needs to do, because that's what she's driven by. Look at all that red that she's got there. So sun, moon, or rising, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And she's looking straight at the Four of Swords as well as the Star. Let's start from the beginning. Nine of Cups, which is, of course, it's the Wish card. But let's see what else we have. Page of Pentacles. Another page. So a message is coming through. So something that you are hoping to grow upon is coming through. And this is in the distant past. So this was something that started. The divine is saying here that you need to put more work into this. And you need to speak your truth if you want it to get to the Ten of Pentacles. Let's look at the Page of Swords. And you've got Justice here. What you don't know is that you will find your balance. Justice is also karma. Okay? So this is again Libra, which is your 5th house. Libra can also speak of speaking in a democratic way, trying to find the balance in any spoken situation. Let's look at the Three of Cups. There's the Queen of Swords. So, Queen of Swords, King of Swords. So your partner is the King of Swords. You are probably the Queen of Swords, which I would say yes. So the Queen of Swords, you know, can be a solicitor, but I feel as though this is your energy. You're looking straight at the card of the World, which is the lessons. Okay? So it's as though you're standing in front of the magistrate and there is a ruling being made here. Okay? And, you know, the Queen of Swords can also be the law. Okay? Let's take a card on the Seven of Cups, and we've got the Ten of Swords. There we are. Ten of Swords, the ending. Now, in this position, you had the Nine of Swords, which showed with the other deck that I was using, the Cosmic Tarot, was 9 swords being thrown at someone. Very dangerous. And I said, oh my God, well, that was even worse energy than the 10, because this is getting to the end. This breaks down to the Ace, which is... So it looks as though the divine wanted the message to be changed for you. There's obviously some sort of a progression. Now, you're going to have the clarity in relation to what's been up in the air and what you could not acknowledge, which choice, which cup you had to take. You're going to have the clarity of it. Wow. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to take both the cards that fell out. The Hierophant fell in the reverse, which means it fell right on top of there. So there have been secrets within a marriage, therefore it comes to a conclusion. The marriage concludes. There are legal issues. Okay, the Hierophant can speak of changing religions, changing your faith, not keeping the faith, right? Doing things out of the ordinary in an unreligious way. Breaking the chains, those bonds. You know, this is a 5. I'm going to put it there because that's where it fell. Now this card, I was going there, so I will continue. There's that 9 of Swords. And this is what's going on in your head. You're going to have to be careful because you know that Pisces is the ending. So instead of making yourself sick, you need to believe and you need to have the faith. 12th house is an ending. If you've been going through all this, terrifying energies, 9 and 10 of wands, 9 and 10 of swords. Something's got to give. Otherwise, your health is going to be affected, please. Okay, another card fell out, and we've got the moon. Fears, but intuition. Now, this is the eclipsed moon. I'm putting it here where it fell. So, terrifying, nightmares. And I also want to say that this is very strong intuition, as well as dreams. Now, pay attention to your dreams. New moon in Pisces in a couple of days. The dreams are going to be prophetic. You need to listen to what the divine is telling you through your dreams. Let's take... Actually, I'm going to change. Now, I'm using the Witch's Tarot, whereas this deck first is the ALBANO-WAITE... the ALBANO-WAITE Tarot. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to take a card from the Witch's Tarot on the action and advice. And we have the Two of Wands, which is looking through a new door, looking across the seas. Sagittarian energy. Seriously. And this is also a choice to either find your equilibrium, balance out your situation if you are living with someone who is doing things that are unreligious, things that are against your upbringing and your traditional ways. Then it's time to let go. Let's look at the outcome position. And we've got the Eight of Swords, more fears, but it's all up in your head. All up in your head. So now you've got the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords. It's just the energies that we're working with. I knew it. You had so many swords before, and here we are again. Let's take one more card on that star card. And we've got the moon. Oh my God, dear Gemini. The moon, which can mean deception, but it's also deception. The moon is the 4th house. The moon, some people say, is Pisces, but for me, it's the house of Cancer, which is the 4th house in the natural horoscope. Now, so if you are Gemini rising, then the house of Cancer it's your 2nd house of values, your comforts, what you own, what you have. Okay, so let's look at this area here. Now, the house of Pisces, where your ruler is retrograding, is for you, it's your 10th house. And 10th house is career, and it's also the law, as well as your status in the world. So how people see you. Are you married? Are you divorced? Are you living with someone? What's going on? Let's take a card here. And there's the Knight of Swords, you see. So he's moving towards the past, dear Gemini. He's going to the past. So let's take another card. This is heavy, brutal energy, and we've got the King of Wands as well. So the King of Wands is, oh wow, we've got the Queen and the King of Wands. So we've got two couples here. They could even be, let's say, the same couple, but it's not going to be the same for all of you, okay? So we've got two couples. So could it be that the King of Swords also turns into the King of Wands? Because if we look at it, the King of Wands could be Leo, let's say, and the King of Swords would be Aquarius. So these are the two opposite signs in the horoscope for me. Okay, it's the Leo Aquarius axis. And I wanted to say that, wanted to tell you guys that please watch your north and south node if you know where you have it. If you don't, please go to www.astro.com and put in all your details and see where your rising sign is. Okay, now I'm going to take one more card here on the love triangle. So we've got an air sign. That's how they're showing. So they're very cold. If it's not an air sign, sun, moon, or rising, could be someone that's just showing up as very cold. And we've got the Hierophant in the reverse, so it could be Taurus. And we've got the King of Wands, which could be Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Let's take one card for that middle position right there. And we've got the Six of Cups, and I'm sure you had it in the Sibillas. Six of Cups, which would be someone from the past. This is concerning children. You had the Leo card, the Sun card, which shows a little boy as well. So, yeah, it's a similar, very similar reading. Let me just take a couple of the Sibillas, and I want to look at the Hierophant and why he's in the reverse. Yeah, the Six of Cups could be the soulmate card as well. Usually there is an air of trust and innocence here. We could be talking about a past life, of course. Let's look at the Hierophant and the Queen of Swords with the Page of Swords. And we've got Omaggio di Preziosi, which you had here. You had it here in the last reading. And this is the Eight of Pentacles. There's the Nemica. So what was once a prize has become an enemy, and the mask is coming off, so you're learning the truth. Now, this is a number 12. It is a Hanged Man. Hanged Man is Piscean energy. And we've got the Falsità. There you go, the deception. So lack of trust. Not enough trust. Someone is holding back on their feelings, on their money. Lack of trust is the Falsità. And this is like the Four of Pentacles, which I usually call it my Taurian card. Let me take, and Taurus is all about our values. So it looks as though you're not on the same level with your values. Okay, let's take one more card because I don't like to leave negative cards. And we've got Il Nemico, which is the enemy, which is transforming. And this is the karmic situation you're going through. This snake sheds its skin, it grows on your skin. So things are changing. Okay, so I usually see it as the enemy going away. Let's look at, I want to look at the action and advice to take, which is there. So we've got Speranza, which is fear or hope, and it's the Eight of Cups, and you had the Eight of Cups tarot card right there. And we've got Messaggero, which is fated news is coming through, and it could be coming from afar. And there's the, oh my God, you had the reunion right there. I think it was right there, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I think. And this is the Eight of Wands, which is messages coming through. And here you had the Eight of Wands. You were jumping through in the air. And it was from the other deck, so it had electricity on top of the wands. So the wands were not only passionate, they had to do with Uranus, Uranian energy. Now this is someone from the past, or there will be a meeting. You are traveling to meet someone that is very close to you, someone that you love. It's as simple as that. And they love you. So I'm looking at the outcome now, dear Gemini, and I've spent nearly 2 hours on your readings. Yeah. No wonder I'm behind in readings, eh? So let's look at this position here. And we've got Sospiri, so Three of Wands. hoping and wishing for those ships to come in. This is the Six of Swords. You had it right there. You're moving to calmer waters. Here we've got the Fidelta, which is the Nine of Cups. So yes, the moon can sometimes mean motherhood, family. It can also speak of, you know, the moon is our emotions. So your emotions, the Nine of Cups, on top of your emotions, there's a lot of cups here, cup energy, a lot of water. So this is your best friend, your companion, your loyalty. And here we've got the Giovina Fanciulla, which is pure. So the loyalty is pure. This is clean. This is something new. This is the Virgin. This is the energy of Virgo. That's how I see it, because she is pure. She's also the Virgin. So it means that the energy is fresh and there is trusting here. And I would say 3 months, in 3 months there could be travel, change here. I'm going to take just 3 Sibillas here on top of the 2 Kings. So we've got the King of Swords. Actually, I'm going to take 1 Sibilla on each of them. 1 on the Knight of Swords. And we've got Gelosia. So it's the 8 of Swords. Jealousy and imprisonment. Let's see what the King of Swords is all about. The King of Swords is someone who is, he's harsh on the outside, but his heart is open on the inside. So this is like the Three of Wands. This is someone who is wanting to travel. This could be someone who is a teacher. They're very intellectual. This is very Sagittarian. Sometimes it's like the Knight of Cups energy, but it's called voyage. So there is movement, travel. Let's look at the King of Wands. And we've got Amore, which is the Four of Cups. Amore is little Cupid. This is beautiful. So there is true love here. Now, I do believe that for some of you, as I said, the King of Wands and the King of Swords could be 2 sides of the coin to your partner. Again, on another level, it could be 2 different people. So I will leave it up to you. I can see that there is a lot on your mind, dear Gemini. Give it time. 12th house says that it's completion. And it's a 9. You're almost at the 10. Let me just take 1 Sibilla for both of these positions. 1 each. Just so you can have a bit more information. Okay, so for the crowning position, on top of the 5 of Swords, which usually shows 3 people, the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Let's see what's there. Oh, we've got the VIMEO, so this is the Ace of Wands. The 10 does break down to the Ace anyway. So this is a spiritual bond. That's your highest ideal. You want someone to ask you to marry them. You want someone to have you move in with them. And they're on the same level with you, so it's worth fighting for. Okay, let's look at the position of now. 10 of Swords, 7 of Cups, yes? And we've got the Ammalato, low morale. And this is the 4 of Swords, taking time out. You had the 4 of Swords there as well. This is psychologically being beep. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Did I say that this is this? Yes, it is the 4 Swords. 4 of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to take one more. It's called low morale, but look what comes in. Okay, look what comes in. Here is your knight in shining armor. Here he is. L'amante. Okay, he's on the verge of asking you out. For those of you that are single and you think that you cannot and will not bring this person in that you are after, that you've got in your eye, let's say one that you are following, a person that is everything that you've ever wanted, they are, and it's a number 11. So whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. It's not in your hands. It's an 11. Okay, it's an 11. Gemini, thank you so much. Thank you. Sending you my love to all of you, each and every one of you. Stay strong while our leader our ruler is in retrograde. Stay strong because we're going to have to. It's going to be hard. All right. Bye to all of you. See you very soon.